So, you make thousands of decisions a day. Some are tiny, like hitting snooze, and some completely alter the trajectory of your life.
Right. Yeah, the big ones.
But you rarely stop to think about the actual operating system you're using to run those choices. So, welcome to today's deep dive. Our mission today is to explore this really fascinating daily reflection document simply titled Day 15.
Yeah, it offers a very specific faith-based framework for decision making.
Okay, let's unpack this because the core premise here is heavy, but honestly straightforward. It argues that the quality of your life is shaped entirely by the quality of your decisions,
And the text roots that premise in a specific scripture, James 1.5, which it draws this really hard boundary between knowledge and wisdom.
which we definitely tend to conflate all the time.
Oh, absolutely. We mix them up. But in this framework, knowledge is just collecting facts.
Yeah.
Wisdom, on the other hand, is the ability to see your life from God's perspective.
So it's like if knowledge is just hoarding all these raw ingredients in your pantry, wisdom is actually knowing how to bake the cake.
That is a perfect way to look at it, yeah. And the text actually uses the biblical story of King Solomon to illustrate that.
Right, the classic example.
Exactly. When God offered him literally anything, Solomon didn't ask for riches or power or, a long life. He specifically requested wisdom.
Which makes sense for an ancient king managing an empire, sure. But whether you're, I don't know, managing a team or just listening to a podcast on your morning commute, why highlight that specific choice?
Well, because it demonstrates this massive shift in value systems. I mean, Solomon chose an eternal perspective over a temporary gain.
He knew the wisdom would pay out better in the long run.
Right. He recognized that having the right processing system, that wisdom, would handle any future problems way better than an immediate pile of cash ever could.
That's easy for Solomon when God is supposedly speaking directly to him, though. For the rest of us, how does the text actually suggest we access that same wisdom on, like, a random Tuesday?
So what's fascinating here is that the document provides a really practical filtering system for everyday choices. It centers on four specific questions.
Okay, what are the main ones?
Two of them act as these ultimate bottlenecks. The first is, does this choice honor God? And the second, quite literally, is, would I still make this decision if Jesus were physically walking beside me?
Wait, really? Applying that second filter to every single choice feels exhausting. Like, does it really expect you to ask that before picking a lunch spot?
Well, no, it's less about micromanaging your lunch and more about short-circuiting the human brain's tendency to just get hijacked by immediate emotions.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, the text is very pointed about relationships, for instance. It explicitly warns that feelings change and appearances are highly misleading.
So it's basically arguing that our baseline emotional responses are just unreliable data.
Highly unreliable, yeah. When you force your brain to conjure the mental image of someone divine walking right beside you, it creates immediate cognitive friction.
It kind of snaps you out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It stopped you from acting on a temporary deceptive human emotion by bringing in a higher objective standard.
Which directly challenges how fast we're expected to move today. Here's where it gets really interesting, because we are constantly pushed by modern hustle culture to decide instantly, act instantly.
Oh, the text treats that urgency as a massive red flag. There's a direct line here that says, never confuse being in a hurry with moving in God's direction.
Wow, that goes against everything we're taught.
It really does. The mandate here is to actively rebel against that external pressure. You are instructed to slow down, to pray, and crucially, wait for what the text calls God's peace.
But waiting for peace is the exact opposite of jumping on a limited time offer or firing off an angry text. Why is pacing so central to this framework?
Well, because basic human intellect just cannot foresee the hidden traps in a hasty decision.
Right, you're flying blind.
Exactly. By forcing a pause until peace arrives, the framework basically acts as a defensive shield against unseen problems. It essentially starves panic of its power over you.
That completely reframes the anxiety of needing to just do something right now. You're using wisdom as a literal shield against problems your intellect can't even see yet.
It is. And the document anchors this whole philosophy with one final thought. It says, feelings may begin a journey, but only God's wisdom can guide it safely to its destination.
That is such a powerful takeaway. And it leaves you with this final thought to really ponder. If this text is right, and true wisdom actually requires waiting for a sense of peace rather than rushing into action, how might your biggest past regrets have played out differently if you had simply forced yourself to pause and wait for the urgency to fade?